The night was quiet and wide, like a soft blanket stretched across the world. Above Joseph's little tent, the sky glittered with stars. They twinkled like tiny lanterns, as if heaven was keeping watch. Joseph lay on his mat, listening to the gentle sounds of the sheep nearby. Every so often, one would shuffle its feet or give a sleepy little bah, and Joseph would smile. Being a shepherd boy meant long days and peaceful nights. It meant dusty sandals, warm sunshine, and the steady company of woolly friends. Tonight, though, something felt different. The air was calm, but Joseph's heart seemed to flutter like a small bird. He didn't know why. He just felt like something was coming. Joseph closed his eyes, and then he dreamed. In his dream, Joseph stood in a golden field. Tall stalks of grain swayed in the breeze, brushing his arms as he walked. Around him were his brothers, each one bundling grain into neat sheaves. Joseph did the same, gathering stalks and tying them carefully. Suddenly, Joseph's sheaf stood straight up, tall and strong. And then, one by one, his brothers' sheaves leaned toward his. They bowed low, as if Joseph's sheaf was important, as if it mattered most. Joseph blinked in surprise, even inside the dream. Then the scene changed like turning a page. Now Joseph stood under a night sky, but it wasn't the same sky as before. This one was brighter, deeper, almost shimmering. In front of him, the sun glowed warmly. The moon shone softly, and 11 stars sparkled in a neat circle. Joseph watched, amazed. The sun and moon and stars all leaned down toward him, as if they were bowing too. Joseph's chest filled up with wonder, like someone had poured warm honey into his heart. The dream felt important, not scary, not confusing, just big. Then Joseph woke up. For a moment, he lay very still, staring into the darkness. The sheep were quiet again. The stars outside were still twinkling. Everything was the same, but Joseph felt different, like he'd been handed a secret note from God. He sat up and whispered, "Wow." Joseph was still young. He didn't have fancy words for things like prophecy or purpose, but he knew what hope felt like. And the dream had felt like hope. In the morning, as the sun climbed up and painted the hills with light, Joseph hurried to find his brothers. They were already moving about, doing chores, checking the animals, talking in low voices. Joseph ran up, bright-eyed. "I had a dream," he said, almost bouncing on his toes. His oldest brothers looked at him. Some of them raised their eyebrows. Some frowned right away. Joseph didn't notice. He was too excited. "In the dream," Joseph said, "we were bundling grain in a field, and my sheaf stood up tall, and your sheaves bowed down to it." Silence. A brother's hands paused in the middle of tying a rope. Another brother stopped walking. A few of them stared at Joseph like he'd just said something very wrong. One brother's voice came out sharp. "So you think you're going to rule over us?" Joseph blinked. "No, that's what happened in the dream." Another brother scoffed. "Listen to him, Mr. Dreamer." Joseph's cheeks warmed. He hadn't meant to make anyone upset. He just thought dreams were meant to be shared, like stories around a fire. But he kept going anyway, because the dream felt too important to hide. "And then I had another dream," Joseph said softly, "and the sun and the moon and 11 stars bowed down to me." That did it. A couple brothers muttered under their breath. Another shook his head like he was angry and tired at the same time. Someone let out a humorless laugh. Joseph's heart sank a little. He looked from face to face, trying to understand. These were his brothers. He wanted them to be happy for him. But jealousy can be like a thorny vine. It wraps around hearts and squeezes tight. Joseph's brothers didn't feel proud. They felt threatened. They felt like Joseph was trying to say he was better than them. And Joseph was just a boy who dreamed. Later, Joseph told his father, too. His father listened carefully. He didn't shout. He didn't laugh. He just looked at Joseph with thoughtful eyes, as if he was holding the dream gently in his hands. His father said, "That is a very big dream, my son." Joseph nodded. "Do you think it means something?" His father didn't answer right away. He looked out at the hills, at the sky, at the sun that warmed them all. Then he said, "Sometimes God shows us things early, not because we're ready right away, but because God is already working." Joseph felt comfort bloom in his chest again. Even if his brothers didn't understand, maybe God did. That night, Joseph lay down again. The stars were back, twinkling like patient little lights. Joseph held his blanket close and whispered a small prayer. "God," he said, "thank you for the dream. Help me be brave. Help me be kind." Outside, the world stayed calm. Inside, Joseph's heart held a spark. Because God can plant dreams early, like seeds tucked into good soil, and even if others don't understand those seeds yet, God knows exactly what He's growing. Sleep softly now, dear one. If you ever feel like your hopes are too big, remember Joseph and his starry dream. God's love is bigger than any sky, and He knows your name. Good night. Rest in peace. Be brave, because God is with you, and His gentle love will never let you go.